everyone. Thanks for joining me again as we go through the Code of Ethics right here. If you can see in my hand, I have a copy of the NASW Code of Ethics, a PDF version. You can purchase your own copy on the NASW website, and I recommend it all social workers have a copy of the Code of Ethics. Today, I'll be reading from it, and I will also be doing some ad-libs to help make some sections a little bit more clear and understandable to those that are listening to this and want to have a thorough understanding of the Code of Ethics. However, there's nothing like having your own copy, so I still encourage you to get a copy online. It is less than $10. I believe it's $7 to download a copy of the PDF version, and you can have it in an ebook format so that way you can read along and have access to it. The Code of Ethics is pretty much one of the tools that we use to help with our moral compass as social workers. It helps guide us. It helps us know when we're making a decision how to handle certain things and which way to go. Everything's not black and white. There are some areas that are a little gray, and you can use it to your own interpretation, but you have plenty other professionals in the field that can help guide you and provide you support when you're stuck and trying to figure out which way to go or actually where to reference certain things in the Code of Ethics. So without further ado, we're going to start with part 3 of the Code of Ethics today. So far, we have went over the overview and preamble of the Code of Ethics, and we have also went over part 2, which is the purpose of the NASW Code of Ethics. Today, we'll be going over ethical principles, which is the third part, but definitely not the last. We're going to dig a little bit deeper in some of these concepts. I'm going to share my screen for those of you that are watching. If not, make sure you listen along and have a really good understanding of what the code is saying. And if you have any questions, I strongly recommend that you join our community so you can have access to myself and some of the coaches to get some support and insight on concepts that may be difficult. You can jump into our course, our program, our boot camps. We wrap around very different style services to help each and every person in their test prep journey. And most importantly, if you're a professional in the field and say you're already licensed, it's really good that we stay abreast on the Code of Ethics. So this is a really helpful tool that you can use to guide you to make sure you stay ahead of the game in understanding what's taking place as it pertains to our wonderful Code of Ethics. Hey guys, real quick, it's your girl. I wanted to stop by and show you I got my merch. Yes, everything is up in action. You guys have been asking for it, so make sure you go to the Shopify store and check it out. Right there, arizahillman.shop. Check it out. You get the nice little package in the mail right before the holidays. Look at that. Oh, baby, I'm telling you, I'm gonna be rocking this all winter long. And then the summertime come, I already got the request for the tank tops. Your girl is working on it. So make sure you stop by the Shopify store. Right at the bottom of this description, you'll see the store, and just go ahead and purchase some merch. See you soon. Without further ado, let me jump in. Today, we're talking about ethical principles. The following broad ethical principles are based on social work's core values of service, social justice, dignity and worth of a person, importance of human relationships, integrity, and competence. Those are 6. These principles set forth ideals to which all social workers should aspire. So let's start with service, which is value number 1. The ethical principle here says the social worker's primary goal is to help people in need and to address social problems. So think about that. As a social worker, our primary goal is to help people in need and to address social problems. This is different than the psychiatry, psychology, medical, counseling, all the other helping professionals, because it says for us, our primary duty is to help people and to address social problems. That is what makes us different from all other helping professionals. Social workers elevate service to others above self-interest. So above what we feel, what we like, what we desire, us helping others comes before that. Social workers draw on their knowledge, their values, and skills to help people in need and to address social problems. Social workers are encouraged to volunteer some portion of their professional skills with no exception of significant financial return. Basically, what it's stating here is that as social workers, our primary goal is to help people who are in need. So we do this through our expertise and through the services that we provide. And it's also expected that we would do some of these without expecting a financial return. We will be doing pro bono services. And that is the heart and the core of social workers. So if you're providing a service or you have a business like myself, I have a private practice, I have a coaching program, and I do provide pro bono services for those that are in need and those that need support and assistance. We do provide services at no cost to assist them in their journey. So not all, but definitely as part of our obligation as social workers, we make sure that we provide a portion of our professional skills without expecting a financial return. Value number 2, social justice. Social workers challenge social injustice. Social workers pursue social change, particularly with and on behalf of vulnerable and oppressed individuals and groups of people. So keep that in mind, guys. If you're working with people who are vulnerable vulnerable or oppressed and they need help and support, that is our duty to make sure that they get the justice that they deserve. Social workers' social change efforts are focused primarily on issues of poverty, issues of unemployment, issues of discrimination, and other forms of social injustice. Seek to promote sensitivity to and knowledge about oppression and cultural and ethnic diversity. Now, I know that's a mouthful, but if we break it down, it's basically telling us that as social workers, we are obligated, we are required to do things to enforce social change, primarily for individuals that are in poverty, that are unemployed, that are discriminated against, and those that are dealing with injustice. These activities help us seek to promote the sensitivity to and the knowledge about oppression and all those cultural and ethnic diversity. And we see a lot of ethnic diversity and cultural situations that come up on the ASWB exam, and this is exactly where it's stemming from. It says social workers strive to ensure access to needed services, needed information, and resources. Equality of opportunity, and meaningful participation in decision making for all people. That is huge, guys. This is a huge, huge value that we hold near and dear to our heart. And when we're working with clients across all different social economic situations and platforms and circumstances and agencies, we should keep that at the forefront of our mind. That value number 2 is social justice, and we should make sure that our clients are receiving that, and if not, we're able to help fight those injustices. Value number 3, dignity and worth of a person. Social workers respect the inherent dignity and worth of a person. Social workers treat each person in a caring and respectful fashion, mindful of individual differences and cultural and ethnic diversity. Some social workers promote clients' socially responsible self-determination. Let me read that again. Social workers promote clients' socially responsible self-determination. So when we're working with clients, they have the right to decide what they want to do and how they want to do things. We have to respect their inherent dignity and the worth of them as an individual. So we want to make sure that our clients are making good, sound decisions, and we have to respect their decisions and how they do things, and we want to promote that. But also, it says social workers seek to enhance a client's capacity and opportunity to change and address their own needs. So sometimes a client might not have the capacity or have the opportunity to address their needs, and our job and our responsibility is to help enhance them so they're able to make these decisions and do things on their own and make good decisions when it comes to self-determination. But as we move on, social workers should also be cognizant of their dual responsibility to clients and the broader society. That is huge, guys. So we're not only responsible to our clients and responsible to our communities, we are also responsible to the broader society as a whole. So we have to understand our dual responsibility and be cognizant of how they can intertwine. They seek to resolve conflicts between clients' interests and the broader society's interests in a socially responsible manner consistent with the values, ethical principles, and ethical standards of the profession. And this is also important. Everything on the Code of Ethics is important. So you'll hear me saying that over and over again. But when you read this last statement, it says they seek to resolve conflicts between client interests and the broader society. So sometimes on a broader level, there might be situations and circumstances that we have to help the client deal with conflict on that level, on a higher level, as we like to call in social work, the macro level. So we have to be aware of these conflicts that take part and help our clients deal with these circumstances in a responsible manner. That's also going to be consistent with our values, ethical principles, and ethical standards as it pertains to this profession. Hey guys, if you tired of studying alone or second guessing every ASWB question, you need this. Go to chat.lcswvibes.com. Yes, this is the AI tutor for LCSW Vibes, your study partner that never sleeps. Ask it anything and get instant explanations. Practice real ASWB style questions. Get answers with the rationales. Build a personalized study plan and even learn the FMBM method step by step. I'm telling you, people are leveling up faster than ever. If you're tired of spending money on test prep materials and you just need one thing that's going to help get you to the finish line, this is the investment you need to make. Check it out. Talk to you soon. Let's move on to value number 4, importance of human relationships. Social workers recognize the central importance of human relationships. Says here, the social workers understand that relationships between and among people are an important vehicle for change. I'm going to repeat that again, guys. Social workers understand that the relationship between and among people are an important vehicle for change. So how individuals connect with one another, the relationships, the connections, all those things that they have is important. It is an important vessel, important vehicle essential for change to take place. Social workers engage people as partners in the helping process. We don't take over and say, I'm the social worker. This is how I say do a thing. We are partners with the client in the helping process. So we help them along their journey and along seeking the help and support that they need. Social workers seek to strengthen relationships among people in a purposeful effort to promote, to restore, to maintain, and to enhance the well-being of individuals, families, social groups, organizations, and communities. That is value number 4, the importance of human relationships. So at this time, I hope you guys have been able to take your notes because we're on value number 4, and I hope you're writing them down. You have a thorough understanding of it. You're able to go back, and if you see a question pop up on the exam or you're working with a client and you're trying to figure it out, you can decide which value you're focusing on or which ethical principle is indeed being discussed. Let's move on to value number 5, which is integrity. The ethical principle here says the social workers behave in a trustworthy manner. When I think of integrity, I remember explaining to my son when he was about 8 years old. I said, you want to have integrity, son. And his little 8-year-old self looked at me and was like, Mom, what does integrity mean? And I basically shared with him that integrity is doing the right thing even when no one else is looking. And that sticks with me near and dear, especially as a social worker. We work with clients that are not always in the best circumstances. They can be easily taken advantage of. But as social workers, it is our value to have integrity. The ethical principle here is that social workers behave in a trustworthy manner. That means it doesn't matter if anyone can see what we're doing. We're always behaving with integrity. Social workers are continually aware of the profession's mission, values, ethical principles, and ethical standards and practice in a manner consistent with them. Social workers should take measures to care for themselves professionally and personally. Now, this part sticks to me because I emphasize this all the time with those in my community, those that I supervise, those that I work with test prep, is that as a social worker, it is unethical to keep pouring yourself out to each and everybody and not saving anything for you. You cannot work from a cup that's half empty. You have to make sure your cup is filled as well. Social workers need to make sure that they care for themselves, not only on a professional level, but a personal level. Take your time, guys. I emphasize this for those in my test prep community because I know some of you study 5, 6, 7, 8 hours a day, study while you're at work, before you go to work, after work, in between work. It's really good to have healthy studying habits, but tap into your body and be aware of when you need to take a break and when too much, guys, is just too much. All right, guys, real quick. I'm always talking about the community. The LCSW Vibes, we leveling up. And this is the sneak peek of the community. As you can see, it's on and popping. We got a lot happening. I got ethics over here, human development, or study guides that you guys asked me about on the YouTube channels, all right there. Test questions. You just want to level up and learn and see if you can answer those questions. I'm testing your knowledge. Let me go back to the home screen. If you want to learn more about what services I offer and what other things are there, that is where you go to the learning tabs. We leveling up, so why don't you join so you can level up too. Moving on. Social workers act honestly and responsibly and promote ethical practices on the part of the organizations with which they are affiliated. So whichever organization you are affiliated with as a social worker, we're not just working for agencies. We're involved in lots of community activities, community organizations, all of that stuff. And it says here, if you are a social worker and you have that social worker degree, you need to act honestly and responsibly and promote these ethical practices as part of the organization within that you're affiliated with. So whatever organization you're affiliated with, you need to make sure you're honest and responsible when you promote these ethical principles and ethical practices, should I say. All right. And probably most of our favorite, or the one that we're most familiar with, is value number 6, competence. Competence. The ethical principle here says that social workers practice within their areas of competence and develop and enhance their professional expertise. So guys, many of you are working towards your licensure, and your job is to practice within your area of competence and develop and enhance your professional expertise. So you might not be where you wanna, but you're heading towards where you're gonna be. And hopefully that makes sense to you guys. So just understand that as a social worker, there's information that you have to obtain, information that you have to learn, and you have to steadily keep putting in work and learning and growing. This code of ethics is something that I've had to have near to me since I've had my degree for 18 years now. Yeah, about 18 years I've had my master's in social work. So it's been really, really important that I understand this code of ethics in and out, because this is the core and the essence of what I'm supposed to follow as a social worker in my private practice, in my test prep community. Whatever I do in life, people should be able to see that I demonstrate and I practice exactly what the code of ethics shares. So ending off on competence, it says says social workers continually strive to increase their professional knowledge and skills and to apply them in practice. Social workers should aspire to contribute to the knowledge base of the profession. And guys, I'm a social worker at heart. Each and every day when I wake up, I live by these principles, by these ethical principles and these 6 values that I mentioned. I'm striving to help each and every one of you be the best professional and to have the most knowledge that you possibly can in the most easiest attainable way. And I aspire to contribute to the knowledge base of the profession in what I do each and every day. That is why I must stay competent. I must study. I must, in my desk, have all the information that I share that each and every one of you should have. I have my code of ethics. For those of you that cannot see, I'm showing the code of ethics. I'm also showing my other handy dandy, the social work dictionary. These are tools. I have my DSM-5. I make sure as a social worker that I stay competent, and that is part of the ethical principle of social workers. Stay tuned for part 4 as we move on in the code of ethics, the LCSW way. And if you're curious about what we'll be discussing next, we'll be going over ethical standards, which is the last section of the code of ethics, but it's also the most lengthy section. So we'll be taking our time and probably breaking that down in 2 or 3 parts as well. And to the next one, see you soon. You have an amazing day and keep studying.